This video I want to take a couple of minutes and look at the great Rolling Stones song Tumbling, playing it on an acoustic guitar. It could be played on the electric guitar just the same. The song is in open G tuning, and I've already tuned my guitar to that just for sake of time. And just to tell you what the notes would be, it would be a low D, G, D, G, B, and then a high D. So the way I get to open G tuning even without a tuner is to match both of my E strings using my D open string as a reference. So I have D, D, and D, 3 Ds in this tuning, and then I match my A string to the G of my open G string. Tune that by octaves. You can certainly use a guitar tuner to do the same thing. Either way, it gets you an open G tuning. For this song, I'm going to use a capo on the 4th fret. Try to put my capo as close to the fret as I can without being on the fret, but certainly not being back in the fret either, up against the fret, pretty snug. And then I usually have to check my tuning once I put the capo on. I use the 4th fret because that's the original key of the song. You could certainly play it on a different fret or even open if that were what you wanted to do. Let me show you the introduction first and we'll break it down. Okay, what I do is I use my first finger on the B string, second finger on the G string, 2nd fret, and I'm going to play the top 3 strings. I'm going to make kind of a big move, a slide up and back down, and then a pull off to open, with the high E string kind of ringing over all of it. Then I'm going to do a little hammer or picking it on the 2nd fret of the D string against the open G string. A hammer, pull off, or however you want to do it, picking it. Here's the hammer on. And then for the last part of that introduction, I'm just going to take my 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of the A string and slide up 2 frets, kind of strumming against the D and the G string. Into open position. All that together real slow. Up to tempo. For the verse of the song I use 3 positions, kind of an open position, with kind of an alternating pattern. I use my first finger on the 1st fret of the B string, and then my 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of the D string. I kind of think of it as a C chord without the 3rd finger. Then I do really the same idea, up 7 frets if you're thinking of the capo. It's literally on the 11th fret of your guitar. The same idea. And then down 2 frets to what would be the 5th fret if you're thinking about your capo, or literally the 9th fret on your guitar. Show you a couple of options in there, and then you can play with that however you like. Rhythmically, you can change the ideas there around some. Sometimes I hear this a little bit more in the song. One more time, a little slower. So you can kind of play with those three positions and the alternating chord grips there and get what you like out of it. Sometimes down in open position, when I'm just playing for my own enjoyment, I'll throw in a few licks, just keep it a little more interesting. From this position we talked about, I can go up to kind of a new position where I have my third finger on the third fret of the B string, my second finger on the third fret of the D string. It's kind of a bluesy. Just some ideas down in open position. I do hear in the recording a lot of that, kind of like in an intro, just sliding from 2 to 4 on the A string, and then down to open position. Let me play that through real quickly. That's really all of the verse. Now we'll look at the a lick that's kind of between the chorus and the verse, kind of a little turnaround lick that goes like this. Starts with first finger on the first fret of the B string, and then the open G string, and then I'm going to fret it on the second fret with my second finger. And I'm going to hold that finger there to keep that note ringing, while I use my second finger on the D string against the open G string. So again, use my second finger on the second and fourth fret of the low A string. Kind of sliding it up and back and pulling off 2 of those. And then a hammer on the second fret of the low E string, back to the open A string. All together. That's in the song. At one point I think it's played once, and then at the second time around it's played twice. It's also the outro for the song with one change. And the change is the last phrase. Instead of a hammer on here, it's done up an octave from the D string to the G string. That's Tumbling Dice. Hope you enjoy it. Thanks for watching.